Hey everyone, welcome to a new episode of the Red Devils Corner Kick podcast, a fan podcast dedicated to Manchester United Football Club. As always, like, subscribe, follow, whether you're watching on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or YouTube, and as well as you can also follow on social media on X, TikTok, and Instagram. I hope everyone enjoyed their holidays, also enjoyed their weekend as well, especially the win on Friday on Boxing Day, 1-0 or 1-0. I do apologize. I do apologize for not doing a episode on the weekend, obviously due to the holiday weekend. But happy to be back. Yes, I was excited for the win. If you haven't already seen my posts on Instagram and TikTok, I have posted my player ratings from the game as well. I was happy with the win. Obviously, Newcastle did make the adjustments. They had opportunities to draw it as well as potentially even take the win. But the defense held. They were able to play well. Despite even the people that were missing, Bruno, Kobe, Mount went off at halftime. We're still missing De Ligt, Maguire, Ahmad, Mbuemo, and Mazraoui as well. But in the end, they came out with a win. They came out as a team, and it was great to see. I will be doing my preview for tomorrow's match. I am, as much as it is the holiday break, I am a little, procrastinating on getting my episodes out, especially for this week. So yeah, obviously you're aware of the updates, especially with the talks of Joshua Zirkzee potentially leaving for Roma. There's agreements in place. Could that affect the lineup for tomorrow? Potentially, especially with Mount out. Will we see academy players starting in his place? I will be doing my lineup prediction later on, so do keep an eye out for that throughout the episode, as well as on my social media posts too. But yes, I'm familiar with that. There's talks of Conor Gallagher, Wharton, obviously the news about the midfield. Kobe Mainoo still potentially not leaving. Because again, we don't know the status of Bruno yet. Obviously with Cameroon and Ivory Coast playing well in the tournament, they're going to be potentially moving on. Morocco, who has been playing very well. If you have been following the AFCON, let me just take a look at one more thing. Let me just pull up, because they were playing today, African Cup of Nations. So yes, if you're looking at the group stages, Morocco obviously is going to be going through. And then as well as Ivory Coast, Cameroon. I believe they still have one more game to go, but they drew yesterday. Ahmad with a nice goal. Ahmad, who has been playing very well in this tournament. Let me just take a look here. Obviously, yesterday was big too because of with Cameroon playing Ivory Coast. You're obviously seeing Baliba play and all that. So, So yes, 2 goals so far for Ahmad, who again has been playing very well. And let me just take a look at Mbuemo as well. Where is Mbuemo? I just want to check the team. That's all I want to do. Let's just check the squad or the stats. Okay. Wait, how did Cameroon do in their first match? Fixtures. They won 1-0. Who scored in that game? And Buemo with an assist, Young as well. And then who scored the goal for against Cameroon? Ahmad with the goal. Oh, it was an own goal. That's what it was. That's why it's looking like there wasn't any other goals for it. Yes. But yeah, Ivory Coast, obviously, they still each have, Ivory Coast and Cameroon each have chances to go through. There is Mozambique, where Mozambique does have a loss. But seeing here, you have a chance of Ivory Coast and Cameroon going through, as well as, we'll see. They both are sitting at 4 points. So you would like to have, both to have them back. Well, with the way Morocco's going, it would be nice to have Mbuemo back, but it's hard to say. Because when's their next game? Let's just take a look here. I don't know, why does it always do that for me? Fixture. Their next fixture is Mozambique. So that's a big game as well. So we'll see how that goes and how that progresses. But yes, back to the transfer window. Yes, obviously lots of talk about potential transfer news, because it's hard to say how everything is going to go with this window. Obviously, like I mentioned earlier, before I went into the African Cup of Nations, talking about the three that are there. Kobe, obviously, Xerxes are two that have always been topic of potentially leaving in January. There's a chance that they do leave in January. One going out to loan, both going to Serie A, but obviously with Bruno, now Mount. So it's going to be. I do apologize for the pauses. I thought I had my cough under control, but obviously it came back today, and it has been nagging at me, to say the least. But we will need to see what goes on with them. Obviously, there's always talks about other players. I know there's talks about Rashford, what's going on with him. There's talks that Barcelona won't be buying them, though like a week or two ago, I think I saw that they would be looking at it. There's also talks of still Baliba going on. There's rumors of Ruben Neves. There's talks of Gallagher. And then Xerxes with a loan, with an obligation potentially. And again, Kobe, which has always been the topic of the conversation. So as of right now, we cannot predict what's happening with the transfer window. As of right now, the clear-cut only thing that's going to be happening in January is Joshua Xerxes potentially heading out to Roma. So that's basically it. That's all we can sit here and wonder. We can take guesses on what's going on, but with Bruno not potentially coming back until the derby, Kobe should be coming back soon. So having him come back would be key to fill in that spot. With and obviously Mbuemo, Ahmad, Azraoui potentially coming back basically at the latest at the derby as well. So at the end of mid to end January, we're going to be looking to be loaded at full health almost, which is a good thing. But at the same time, too, we have games there, and that derby is a very important one. So it's just a matter of waiting and seeing how it all progresses through the next couple of weeks, through the next week, actually, because the transfer window starts this week. So I know we lost out on Semeneo, but at the end of the day, there are other targets, and right now our midfield is depleted. We need midfield players. It cannot be just temporary replacements. It has to be people that are going to be here for the long time. So obviously, Baliba is in talks. You're talking about Wharton. Anderson keeps coming up. The price tags and money is the concern, obviously, with transfers, the funds, but it's just about trying to get everything organized and all that. But as of right now, we can give you the wish list of who we want, but as of right now, it's just speculation. Obviously, there's talks of, rumors of whether or not Neves is going to be coming here, whether there's going to be talks of, Anderson, like I mentioned. there's still that they're looking at here. James Garner was news today. Obviously, Gomes is not going to be there. So we're looking at it here. But it's hard to say. And then obviously when we get people back, getting hopefully McGuire and DeLitt back, that helps out with depth. But we definitely need to see how everything progresses with this team and with the transfer window, obviously. But like I mentioned, the names that have come to mind are the names I just mentioned. This is according to Sky. Obviously, United's long-term bid for midfield reinforcements is regardless of Manu's future. Because again, Casemiro is potentially leaving. Is expected to leave in the summer. Priority to bring in a top number 6 in the summer. And they have interested in the likes of Wharton, Baliba, Elliot Anderson, Angelo Stiller as well. So it's just a matter of just trying to find the right pieces, who we're going to get, the price tag. It's just sitting there and wondering. And I can say one thing today, I can say another thing tomorrow, but we don't know how everything is going to be playing out. It's just, for me, it's just speculation. And until we hear negotiation and things are going on and updates with injuries, that's the thing. We just brought back Toby Collier. That might just say, hey, we're just going to be looking at one midfielder for this January transfer window, to say the least. Ruben Amorim said it best. Like, players cannot leave until we get players to replace them. And right now we have none. So it's just trying to get things right. So, all right, let's go talk about tomorrow's game. Obviously, a big match against Wolves. I know we just played them about, a couple of weeks ago, but now we're going to be facing them again. And this time, it's not going to be like the same. It's not going to be like the first matchup. This time, it is going to be different. So, yes, I did mention how it is going to be different in this game. We're not playing like Wolves. I've talked about them before. This is actually our first matchup of replaying a team that we've already played. So this is round 2 against Wolves. Yes, we played them and we won 4-1. Obviously, we took advantage of it. We took advantage of turnovers, movement of the ball, the attack, so on and so forth. The one thing too is, excuse me. The one thing too going into this game is, one, we're at home, which is a good thing. Us winning on the road 4-1 was key. We need to keep our heads straight from the win on Friday. Yes, it was a big win. We are still a depleted squad. We are facing an opponent that we can't fall asleep on. They can take over the game and beat us. They have been playing, like, despite their record, when you have looked at their last few fixtures, they like, and I'm going to give credit to Wolves for some things. Yes, even though they haven't won anything, but if you look since, yes, we beat them 4-1, but they lost to Villa 1-0. Nottingham Forest 1-0. They keep themselves in games. I think the Arsenal game, I think the only reason why they lost was due to an own goal. Liverpool, they took the 2-1 as well. Listen, overall, they do play well. Like, I'm not going to take anything away. They do play well. Just looking at here. But yes, they do score goals. They do find a way to put it in the back of the net. We can't let them do that. We have to control it. And as much as it is we have to be able to move the ball and continue on. And obviously we're going to struggle offensively because of what's going on. And to say this, which is tough, listen, they played against Arsenal, and then they had 2 own goals. So theoretically, Wolves scored 3, but unfortunately 2 of them went in for Arsenal, and then 1 went in for themselves. But That's even the tough one too. To go up against a very good Arsenal squad, to have that happen again, they do get opportunities. But the one thing is, United cannot let them have those opportunities. We're going to struggle. I'm going to say it. We are going to struggle against Wolves. I'm still going for the win. I'm still believing that they can win, but it's going to be similar to, I think, way it was going to be for Newcastle. The pressure is going to be on. Amorim did a fantastic job, what he did on Friday, but Mount has a knock. I don't expect him to start. Do I expect the academy players to play more of an impact in this game? Yes. Do I expect a potential academy player to be starting tomorrow? There is that possibility. There is that possibility of one starting. You may have Lacey, you may have Jack Fletcher starting tomorrow. So that's a potential. Now, when I do my lineup prediction, I'm going to give you a hit, like right now before I go into my lineup, I am going to discuss that Joshua Zirkzee is in my starting lineup for tomorrow. Yes, we are aware of what's going on with that situation, but right now, we could go with an academy player like Fletcher, like Lacey. They could make their starting debuts. There is that opportunity that we could have them there. That will be there. I'm going with Zirkzee just because the experience, having them there, getting it ready to go, we may have that opportunity for him to start because, again, we do need the experience, and Mount may come off the bench. Mount was taken off at half because he felt something. He wanted to continue to play. Ruben protected him for a reason. That is for tomorrow. So do expect Mount to potentially start tomorrow, not start tomorrow, but potentially be on the bench for tomorrow. Offensively, we are going to be struggling. It's the truth. Sesko, Cunha, Zirkzee, you will probably see them starting together. And at the same time, too, you're going to have them together, potentially playing the full 90 minutes. We may see Jack Fletcher start in place of where Zirkzee is going to be, potentially, or you may have Lacey start. One of those two can potentially be in that spot as well. But it is tough to look at. They have to move the ball well. Please remember as well, like, it's great that we're seeing the academy players because guess what? Last week they stepped up. They did. They stepped up huge last week when closing out a game on against Newcastle or not Newcastle. That's a brain fart on me. I do apologize, ladies and gentlemen. But let me just pull up last week. Obviously, by the way, one thing I should mention is too, last week that goal by Dorgu was fantastic. Just to say fantastic. But we're going to expect you expect Fletcher, you're going to expect Fredrickson, expect Shea Lacey. I expect them to see the field tomorrow. Zirkzee may have to start. And it all depends on how Ruben's going to attack and set up the formation. I haven't done a 4-3-3 or a 4-2-4-3 on however you look at it. But realistically, I will give you the players that I'm going to believe that are going to be in that lineup as well. Because obviously you saw how the game ended and the formations that they were doing. Just remember, everyone, I don't think Ruben is collapsing on his decision. He always told us that there was going to be flexibility as the players get familiar with it. I think now he has to go more into that flexibility because A, we're missing players. B, it's basically because they're missing the players. The players that he has right now may not conform to what they need for the 3-4-3. He may start off 3-4-3 and then start shifting through the different lineups, which is what's going to have to happen. But there was always talks about this. And the one thing, too, that I'm excited about, if he's doing this now, I'm excited for when Bruno, Kobe, Mbuemo, Mount hopefully should be back, Mazraoui, having those players there and experiencing that's going to be huge as well, especially with rotation in certain formations, like having Licha back, like Bruno, like there's a lot of things we're going to see Amorim do to experiment, but I am excited to see how this all plays. That's the thing. And we're going to we will have to wait and see how everything goes, especially with the transfer. Because it's we have to wait and see, like, to say the least, on how everything's going to go, strategize players. But again, if he's able to start doing the adaptation of the different formations with those players coming back, it's going to be fantastic to see and how everything plays out. Okay, so my lineup right now. So Semi Lamans, who played fantastic last weekend in the clean sheet, obviously he'll still be there. I'm going to go with the same back three as last week: Martinez, Heaven, Shaw. Obviously, with the rotation, Delo, he can switch to the back four. You can have like they're going to find ways to adjust. Same midfield. Obviously, Delo, Dorgu, Ugarte, Casemiro as the same. Both played fantastic. Casemiro was taken off, obviously, due to tomorrow's game. And then, you may see the rotation of the youth. Like I mentioned, you may see both Fletchers on tomorrow, to say the least. Tyler and Jack may be both playing next week, or playing tomorrow. And then you might also see Shea Lacey, like I mentioned, in tomorrow as well. But going back to my lineup, the attack, Xerxes, Sesko, Cunha, you're definitely going to look to see at those three as well. You will see academy presence tomorrow. It's not going to be taken away. You will see academy players there, obviously, with players missing, like I mentioned, DeLitt, Maguire, Bruno, Kobe, Mimbuemo, Mazraoui, and Ahmad. Missing all those players, obviously, with injuries and everything, but having this group here and having those academy players to rotate will be key as well for that tomorrow. And I don't want to be like, oh, we're only playing Wolves. Yeah, we're only playing Wolves, but we could struggle tomorrow. And like I mentioned earlier on in my preview, we may struggle against them. It may be similar to a little bit like Newcastle, where they adapt and try to get the attack and the movement, and they may take advantage of opportunities that Newcastle couldn't against us. So we have the home crowd, which is good in our favor. We're back at Old Trafford. We can't go in thinking about what happened the last game when we played them. We have to go in with a clear head and move the ball, attack, be conservative with that ball. Once again, with my lineup, Lamens, Martinez, Heaven, Shaw, Dorgu, Ugarte, Casemiro, Delo, Xerxes, Sesko, and Cunha on the attack. Which, again, we may see a different change, but definitely having Mount potentially on the bench tomorrow will be key, especially keeping him rested. We are back on Sunday, I believe it is, against Leeds in the early morning, so we have to keep an eye out for that as well. So, but in the end, I'm always going to go for the United win. I do believe that we can pull one out, but we have to buckle down. We have to keep a clear head. We cannot be like, oh, we did this last game against them on the road at their place, we should be able to do it again here. No, we can't go in with that mentality, because right now we're not the same team that we were that played them at their stadium. We're not the same players. Those players are gone. They're gone. We don't have them. We have a different setup. We have some of them are the same, but we have different sets of players that are playing today. We're playing tomorrow, sorry. So we have to make sure that we're ready to go. So everyone needs to step up. Everyone's going to be in different roles tomorrow. Everyone has to be prepared. It's the next man up mentality. And I mentioned it against Aston Villa, against the preview for Newcastle, and it has to be tomorrow as well against Wolves. So again, this is round 2 with Wolves. We have to have a clear head and get things going as well. I will be back tomorrow night doing my post game about the match tomorrow, so keep an eye out for that. As well as I'll be back after that on Thursday and potentially Friday with episodes. Obviously the preview, we have Leeds as well, but I will be back. But again, tomorrow, the main focus is clear head. We have to work well in transition, moving the ball, control, and we have to make sure we cannot let Wolves take any chances. They let that one goal that we had when we played them, and then being tied at half, that did have concern. So, but United have to be able to control, clear head. Again, consistency, discipline, finished, that has to be there. So everyone's got to be back in a different mindset. We cannot be expect to be the same game as it was when we played them on the road. This is going to be a different game. This is round 2. This is the first game. We're playing Wolves twice before we've even played Leeds once. Remember that for this season. So I'll talk about everything post game tomorrow, but it is a big game. Every game is big. This is just as big for tomorrow as well. So yeah, I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, follow where you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or YouTube. And don't forget to follow on Instagram, TikTok, and X as well. I will talk to you guys tomorrow after the match. This is the Red Devils Corner Kick Podcast. Glory, glory, Man United.